Hey, Joanne. Happy Monday. Hello, Susan. Happy Monday. Hello, Mr. Prince. Happy Monday. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Ask you to share this out. Hey, Patricia. How are you? Happy Monday to you. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Hey, Sudisha. Hello. Hello, Lakeisha. Hi, how are you? Hope you're feeling better. Hello, Nicole. Happy Monday. Thanks for popping in with me for a few minutes. Happy Monday. Ask you to share this out with your followers. Today we're part of a three-part series. Profits, productivity, and possibilities. Hey, Stacy. How are you? Hey, Miss Tanya. How are you? Thanks for joining. Wonderful seeing you this past Saturday. Can't wait to see you this Saturday. Thanks for joining. Ask you to share this out, please. We're going to get started. Hello, everyone. I am Robin Devonish, the self-publishing maven, your go-to girl for writing, publishing, and profitability for your book. And welcome to another segment of Book Talk, where I come here normally to interview authors on Mondays and Tuesdays, but for some reason I am in Facebook jail. I am unable to bring anybody in on my screen. Not exactly sure why, but I guess, Facebook will figure it out and decide to let me be great again. But in the meantime, in between time, I'll be coming here on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays and just sharing content with you, to make sure that we're covering the writing, the publishing, and the profitability. So today we are going to talk about profits, productivity, and possibilities. Now, I'm gonna split this up into a three-part. So today we're gonna talk about profits. And the reason why I believe that it's important to talk about profits is because a lot of times authors, when I ask them why they want to write a book, they normally say, they normally say, oh, I just want to help people. I just, want people to be blessed. I want people to, I want it to touch people's lives. I very rarely hear a self-published author say that they want to write a book and they want profits from it. I very rarely hear them say that. So hey Phyllis. So today we're going to talk a little bit about that whole thing, when it comes to profits and just some questions that you can ask yourself. Now, this message is a message that I shared at the Authorpreneur Summit. So those of you who have missed it, I'm sorry that you missed it. It was Saturday, April 28th. However, there is a replay recording, and so if you are interested in possibly gaining entry into the replay of the recording of the full day, by all means please inbox me and I can share with you how that can happen. So this is basically, what I'm going to share, what my message was for that day. But of course, like I said, we're gonna split it up into three parts, and so today we're gonna talk about profits, right? So, I understand the whole thing about self-publishing and, saying that you want to, help someone. You want people's lives to be impacted. You want people's lives to be changed by way of your book. Whatever you might be sharing, whether, it's your personal testimony, in terms of something that happened to you, maybe it's a book that you're using for the purpose of ministry, or you want to write, a memoir that is talking about a particular time in your life, because that is what a memoir is. A memoir is not an autobiography. A memoir is giving some information about a particular time in your life, and basically, taking the reader on a journey, right? So, whatever your reasoning for, wanting to share your story, it's important that, especially if you are in the beginning stages, especially if the book has not been released yet, you need to make sure that you have that profit conversation with yourself in terms of what you ultimately, want to make, as an author. Now, this is the thing. I always say, when it comes to success, people say, oh, some people measure success in different ways. So some people would say, well, I want to sell 1 million copies. Okay, fine. That's, there's nothing wrong with that goal. It's nothing, some people may say, I just want to sell 500 copies. Whatever your level of success is, of course, I say that you need to be comfortable with that. However, still within that conversation, there should be something about profits, right? So, while I was at the summit, I gave the, participants some questions to ask themselves. And so I'm going to share these questions with you today that I shared at the summit. So these are some of the questions in terms of profit that you should be asking yourself now, if your book is not even, if it's not released, but even after the fact that your book is already been released, maybe you need to go back and kind of backtrack and kind of figure out, how much money do I want to make? What do I want to do? Ultimately, how, do I want to expand this book? So here are some of the questions, right? So question number 1. Like I said, this was at the Authorpreneur Summit. So the first question is, how can I create an authorpreneur model that supports both my personal and professional goals? Now, the reason why I put that question out there is because I often hear authors say they either don't talk about profits, or they'll talk about profits in terms of, they want to live off of the book. They want to live off of having, a recurring or a consistent income in terms of the book, right? But normally when they talk about having the consistent income, it's already after the book is out. It's already done at that point, right? It's already out there. So it's a lot of backtracking and trying to figure out, how can I do this? How can I create something that supports my personal and professional goals, right? So that would be the first question that you should ask yourself when you are moving forward in terms of the profits. How can you create a model that supports your personal and professional goals as an author? Okay. So the second question, how much money would I like to earn in the next 90 to 180 days? What I've noticed about authors is, thank you, Stacy, that they don't time in terms of how much money they want to make within a particular time. They don't talk about that. Self-published authors, the ones that I talk to, right? That's not something that they're necessarily thinking about. So the second question would be, how much money would I like to earn within the next 90 to 180 days? Right? So this could be, the question that you ask yourself before the book comes out, or if the book is already out and you need to, do some revamping, some reevaluating, possibly a relaunching of the book. How much money do you want to make between the next 90 and 180 days? Okay? So question number 3. What 1 to 3 products and services can I offer as an extension to my book? So I'm going to let you in on a nugget that I share with a lot of my clients. Your book is important. Yes, it is. However, there are products, there are services, there are extensions that you can create that will help fuel the sales of the book, right? So the question is, what 1 to 3 products and services can I offer as an author as an extension to my book. So I'm even going to give you an example. Let's just say, you wrote a book about your life and you decided later on to become a life coach, right? So now you have this book and you can offer life coaching services, right? So that is a service or a product, however you want to name it. But the bottom line is that is an extension to the book. So the question is, I don't know if we're on a delay. Did you hear my example, Sadisha? Did you? So if you didn't, I'm going to repeat it. So an example is when, let's just say you are an author and you write a book about life issues, right? And then later on, like, yes, you got it, or yes, you need me to repeat it. You have a book on life issues and then you decide to become a certified life coach. That is an extension to the book, right? So what can you create that's an extension to the book that will circle right back to putting in profits for the book, right? So if you offer some type of life coaching program, maybe, okay, good. Maybe you can, you have some type of life coaching program, maybe you can make your book a required reading and just, make sure that the price is, good enough to where it covers the book as well, right? So what product, service can you offer as an extension to your book? So that's question number 3, okay? Question number 4 would be, in terms of the profits, how much or what percent of revenue from my books, products, and services will go towards my daily, weekly, or monthly income, right? Because the thing about profits too, sometimes what we do is when we get a profit, we'll put it right back into the business itself, because we already know that having a book is a business, right? That's considered to have a business in a sense. Actually, you should treat your book and publishing it and all the things that are related to it, you should definitely treat it as a business, right? So once you already understand that, you've already established that it is a business, right? The question is, how much of a percent of the revenue from the book, products, services will go towards your daily, weekly, and monthly income, or monthly income, or how much is going to go to that, right? And of course, you could take a percentage to put it back into the business, to put it back into the book, whatever, the book related to marketing, or, whatever you want to do. Creating a campaign, maybe that's something you have to pay for. But how much of the money are you going to put back into to say, well, I've profited from the book in this way? Okay, so that is question number 4. So I'm going to do a quick recap for those of you who have just come in. Thank you for joining. I ask you to share this out. I am Robin Devonish, the self-publishing maven, your go-to girl for writing, publishing, and profitability for your book. And today, this is part 1, and we're talking about profits, we're talking about productivity, and we're talking about possibilities in relation to our book. And so today I'm talking about the profits part. Hey, love, how are you? Hey, Lisa. Talking about the profits part, right? And so, this is a message that I shared at my event, the Authorpreneur Summit on Saturday, April 28th, a couple of weeks ago. And so now I'm here and I want to share it with you. In terms of profits, right? And so just to recap the questions that you should be asking yourself, whatever stage that you're at, like if you haven't finished the book yet, or if the book is finished and it's already out, you may need to reevaluate and kind of think about some things in terms of profit, because like I said before, a lot of times authors, they don't talk about or think about the profit. Usually when I ask them a question, hey Brianna, I ask them a question and I'll say to them, why do you want to write a book? Or, normally it's never about profits. It's usually about they want to help somebody, they want to touch people's lives. However, I would think that you would want to make a profit as well, right? So I'm going to repeat the 4 questions. There's actually 6 questions, but I'm going to repeat the 4 questions for those of you who have just come on, right? So the first question is, how can I create an entrepreneur model that supports both my personal and professional goals? So that's the first question. And the reason why I say entrepreneur model is because I hear a lot of authors say that they want to live off of their book. They want to live off of, the things that are associated with their book. So how can you create as an author, an entrepreneur model? An entrepreneur means basically what you're doing is you're marrying this whole thing about being an author to entrepreneurship, right? So that's what makes you an entrepreneur. How can you create an entrepreneur model that, hi, Dr. Clack, that supports both your personal and professional goals? Okay. So the second question is, how much money would you like to earn in the next 90 to 180 days? You need to kind of map that out, kind of figure that out. What is it that you want to earn within the next 90 to 180 days? Or you can, you can make it longer than that, within the next year or something like that. How much money would you like to earn, right? So the third question is, what 1 to 3 products and services can you offer as an extension to your book? Like I said before, yes, it is the book, but you have to create extensions and other things, to go with the book, right? And if you want to know more about that, how that whole thing works, then you can, inbox me. We could talk about that in further detail, right? But that is the question. What 1 to 3 products and services can you offer as an extension to your book, which is really important, okay? So number four, how much or what percent of the revenue from your books, products, services will go towards your weekly, your daily, your monthly, your weekly income, whichever order. How much the percentage of the revenue? Because of course your book is considered, you to have a business. And normally what we do is we take all the money and put it back into the business, when we really should be putting part of that aside for the purposes of revenue, right? To see the profits that we made from it, okay? So question number 5, how much time and money can you afford to spend on marketing who you are and what you have to offer as an author in terms of profits? How much time and money can you afford to spend on marketing about who you are and what you have to offer as an author? Okay? How much time and money can you spend? It's really, really important for you to kind of figure that out ahead of time when it comes to profits. Okay? So number 6, how can I market one product or service at a time? Now, this is the thing. The thing about, being a authorpreneur, right, is, of course, it's the book, it's the products, it's the services. However, you'll have all of these things together, kind of working together, like they're infused together. So I gave the example earlier about the life coach, right? So let's just say you're somebody that you are into, coaching people, but you've written this book about your life. Let's just say you have a book and you had a bad childhood or something like that, but you managed to, get your life on track, and now you've decided that you want to help other people to get their life on track, and so now you've become this certified life coach. Okay, that's the one product, right? That's the one product and or service that you are creating. However, you still need to kind of figure out how you can market the book, how you can market the life coaching classes that you're offering. Maybe it's a life coach class. Maybe there's one-to-one life coaching. Maybe you know have some life coaching academy, or maybe you want to create your own life coaching academy to the point where people can get certified through you, right? So those are different products and services, an extension to that one book. But you have to learn as an author how to market more than one product at a time. Now, of course, I can't tell you that because that's a money conversation. However, I am more than willing to come here and share the questions that you should be asking yourself, right? So just to recap the questions one more time. How can I create an entrepreneur model that supports my personal and professional goals? The second question, how much money would I like to earn in the next 90 to 180 days? Okay. Number 3, what 1 to 3 products and services can I offer as an extension to my book, right? Number 4, how much or what % of the revenue from my books, products, services will go towards my daily, weekly, monthly income? Okay. Number 5, how much time and money can I afford? Now, you know, we've already talked about the revenue, and we already talked about, you know, how a lot of times we'll take money and we'll just put it right back into the business, right? But how much of it can you afford to spend on marketing, who you are, and what you have to offer as an author? Because there has to be some marketing involved for you to get the profits. I hope that makes sense, right? And number 6, how can, thank you. How can I market more than one product or service at a time? So I just gave you an example, right? Product or service at a time. So I'm gonna give you another example. So a couple of years ago, I wrote a book about my journey with breast cancer, right? I wrote a book about that, you know, how it affected me, you know, the things that the kindness of people, how things, you know, came, just how it was of course it wasn't a good experience, but it wasn't a bad experience either, if that makes sense, because of the love and the attention that I got from people, the genuine careness, right? So let's just say I took that book. The book is called The Gift of Cancer. And a lot of times, you know, because I am going into my 9th year of being a breast cancer survivor, a lot of people that have gone through it, like they've asked me different questions about like, how did I, you know, stay in a certain mind frame? How did I get my life on track? How did I, like, what are some of the things that happened to me to help me to, you know, go through this whole journey? Right now, if I wanted to, because I wrote this book, because I share so many nuggets and so much information about what happened to me, if I wanted to, I could create some type of, you know, extension product to the actual book. If I wanted to, I could create something like a journal of, you know, a 21-day journal for breast cancer survivors specifically to help them to go through their journey of breast cancer and using the principles that helped me to get through mine. Does that make sense? So if I wanted to do it, so that would be one product. Another product would be me going out and actually speaking to breast cancer survivors, you know, in different places, you know, say that I am a available speaker, you know, I'm here to encourage and to uplift and to help those that are going through cancer, right? So that's another product or service that I could offer if that's something that I chose to do. So I hope that everyone has an understanding in terms of this thing we call profits, because it's really important, and time out for self-published authors not making money from their books. That was the purpose of me, you know, creating the summit, the Authorpreneur Summit, because it is possible. It is absolutely positively possible for you to make profits from your self-published book. So I hope that I've shared something for you to think about. I encourage you to look at this replay. Of course, I'm going to leave it up and just kind of think about this whole thing in relation to profits, right? And tomorrow, I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about productivity and possibilities. I'm going to talk about, so it's going to be a 2-part series. I said I was going to do 3 parts, but we'll just do 2 parts, right? So today is profits. Tomorrow at 7 p.m., I'm going to come back and talk about productivity and possibilities in relation to your book, because I think it's really important, and I think that a lot of authors miss it, and that's why they're struggling to make money. So I thank you for hanging in here with me. Does anybody have any questions about what I just shared? Any questions about what I just shared? About profits and the questions that you should be asking yourself. Right? Thank you, Dr. Clack. Any other questions? Oh, you're welcome, Sadisha. And I did not forget about you, okay? The summit kind of got me a little crazy off track, but I'm back now. Hey, Rhonda, how are you? So thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, you can always inbox me if you have any questions later on or anything like that. You know that I'm always willing to share. So I thank you for tuning in. Robin Devonish, the self-publishing maven, go-to girl for writing, publishing, and profitability for your book. And I will see you tomorrow. Love you to life. Bye-bye. Hey, Wanza. Gotta catch the replay.